Hi, my name is Karen and today I'm going to guide you through everything you need to know about infographics. If you are new to infographic design, this is the video for you. So in this video, I will explain what is an infographic, what is an infographic used for, what are the types and examples of infographics, what makes an infographic good, and finally how to make your own infographic. I will show you some editable infographic templates that you can customize and download for work, school, or business. Ready? Let's dive right in. If you flip through a magazine or browse through social media lately, chances are you've stumbled upon a slick-looking infographic. From healthcare to marketing to education, infographics are a popular storytelling medium across industries and channels. Infographics use visuals and text to highlight key information and ideas. According to the Dictionary of Media and Communication, an infographic is a graphical representation of concepts or of patterns in data or information. In the book Infographics, The Power of Visual Storytelling, authors Lanko, Ritchie, and Crooks define infographics as a medium that uses visual cues to communicate information. The widespread use of infographics happened around the same time that internet gained popularity, in the late 1980s and early 1990s. However, the history of infographics goes as far back as cave symbols, from 37,000 years BC. To give you an example of an early use of infographics, the founder of modern medicine, Florence Nightingale, combined visuals and text in 1858 to convince the British government to improve army hygiene. In notes of matters of health affecting the British Army, Nightingale created a graph showing the real enemies of the British Army during the Crimean War: cholera, typhus, and dysentery. More than a century later, healthcare infographics remain a practical and valuable tool to communicate and share medical information. In a nutshell, the overall goal of infographic creation is to convey complex information. However, the purpose of designing an infographic can vary from person to person. Whether you're about to make your first pitch deck or you're a budding instruction designer, let's dive in at the different ways you can use infographics. The versatility of infographics is one key reason why they're commonly used to relay information. You can upload a blog post with an infographic, use an infographic snippet on social media. Best of all, the visual nature of graphics makes them a great entry point in capturing your target audience's interests. Here are 6 different ways to use infographics in work, school, or business. Number 1 is to keep your team on track by visualizing key metrics and data. Data-heavy information can be difficult for some team members to grasp at work. Create and share easy-to-understand visuals with your team through infographics. Make those numbers and metrics stand out to the right colors, icons, and images. 2 is to simplify communication and clarify messages. Explaining novel concepts can be a challenge. For instance, before the COVID-19 outbreak, the idea of a pandemic was new to the public and seemed a little far-fetched. The good news is that infographics can help simplify and demystify complex ideas. For this reason, the World Health Organization used infographics to share accurate, up-to-date information about the coronavirus pandemic. Third is to get complex information across in the classroom. From understanding the impact of climate change to learning new vocabulary, enrich classroom lessons with visual aids. In fact, a small survey conducted on undergraduate students revealed that they did prefer infographics to text-based materials. Fourth, we have to spread awareness about an issue. With 65% of the world's population as visual learners, visual communication tools like infographics are ideal if you want to spread awareness about an issue. Whether you want to educate your coworkers on internet privacy or make people more aware of biodiversity loss, a relevant infographic can have a wider reach. Fifth, we have explain procedures. Explaining a process can be time-consuming and tedious, especially if you're relying on blocks of text alone. With infographics, you can add images, visuals, and icons to make learning more memorable and fun for your audience. Sixth is to compare ideas or products. Help your audience make better decisions by using infographics that illustrate the similarities and differences of two opposing concepts. You can compare and contrast products, people, eras, ideas, pets, and so on. The possibilities are endless. Now that you already know how to use infographics, let's break down each type of infographic. You'll also discover when is the best time to use each type of infographic. First off, we have statistical infographics. Do you want to share the highlights of your startup's monthly report? Or would you like to focus attention on specific data points in a survey? Statistical infographics highlight data. This type of infographic features charts, graphs, and data visualization techniques to help the audience make sense of the data presented. You can use statistical infographics to share interesting facts and figures, condense lengthy information. Next, we have process infographics. Choose process infographics if you want to show the different steps in a process, from sharing family recipes to describing your company's recruitment process to candidates. A process infographic helps your audience anticipate what is next and envision outcomes. Use process infographics to explain a complex process into simple, easy to understand steps. Next, we have informational infographics. Informational infographics highlights words and text instead of figures and numbers. It is more generalized and can contain information about any topic. In this type of infographic, the text shines more than the visuals. Use informational graphics to explain topics or concepts by pairing words with engaging visuals together. Next, we have timeline infographics. Timeline infographics illustrate actions, events, or time-related data in chronological order. You can present information in horizontal, vertical, or winding formats for this type of information. Use timeline infographics to visualize history or show how long something will take, highlight how a place, event, or concept has changed over time. Next, we have list infographics. The internet loves listicles. With list infographics, your audience will love you more because the list format grabs their attention quickly and enables them to retain information quickly. Icons and images can also replace bullet points and numbers to make each item or example stand out. Use list infographics if you want to. Make a basic list pop out and grab your audience's attention. Next, we have comparison infographics. A comparison infographic contrasts or compares two options, ideas, or concepts. This infographic format helps the audiences see the similarities or differences between two or multiple choices. It's also ideal in telling two sides of the story. Use comparison infographics if you want to. Show differences and similarities and highlight how one option is superior or inferior to the other. Infographic resumes. Also known as a visual resume, infographic resumes are visual CVs that help job seekers stand out from the pack. An infographic resume presents your impressive skills, employment history, and educational background through eye-catching colors, graphs, icons, and illustrations. The best part about the infographic resume is that you can highlight your work and skill without the information overload. Infographics if you want to. Grab the attention of recruiters and hiring managers and get them to call you back for an interview. So what makes a good infographic? You know it's a good infographic when the reader glances and can quickly understand the main idea. Well-designed good infographics have the following characteristics. 1. They offer clarity. 2. They tell a cohesive story. 3. Are easy to scan and read. 4. Are well-researched and accurate. And 5. Are visually appealing. You can take the following steps towards making a good infographic. Choose images, icons, or illustrations that aid audience comprehension. While words and text are important in communicating information, make your infographic stand out with the right visuals. Choosing the right visuals in your infographics can help you create accessible, coherent, and compelling content. 2. Have a clear hierarchy. Next to visuals, you need to pay attention to the visual hierarchy in your infographics. Hierarchy is the way your text and visuals are structured and prioritized. These include headers, subheaders, paragraphs, text descriptions, visuals, and your call to action. At the most basic level, a clear hierarchy in your infographic guides your viewer as they scan the infographic. Third, pick the right color combination. Make your infographics come to life by putting more thought into your colors. The right color combination can either make or break your infographic. Aside from shapes and lines, colors can set the mood of your infographic and dictate how it will impact your readers. Plus, research does reveal that the human brain uses colors and shapes to detect and discriminate objects. A pro tip is to use the 60-30-10 rule when planning for your infographic colors. A primary or root color will cover 60% of your infographic, a secondary color will cover 30% of your infographic, and an accent color will cover the remaining 10% of your infographic. Fourth is to group related elements and information through lines, colors, borders, and shapes. Like visual hierarchy, grouping related elements can help you create a good infographic. Fifth is to use graphs and charts to communicate data. Another important step for creating a good infographic is to make good use of graphs and charts. Besides being easy on the eyes to read, there is a shallow learning curve for the audience because they're quite common. Some quick tips to remember when using graphs and charts in your infographics. Add short explanations or bullet points that explain your graph or chart. It also makes sense to add additional data that you cannot include in your visual. Avoid multiple data points that would be difficult for your audience to interpret. For example, bar charts should have a few bars as possible, and line graphs should not have more than 4 lines. As much as possible, do not use scatter plots and stacked bar charts, particularly if you have a non-scientific audience. Use pie charts sparingly because most people are not good at estimating volume or area. Use a horizontal bar chart, organized from greatest to least or vice versa, instead of a pie chart. How to create an infographic. You've made it this far and we're now entering the final part of this video. In this section, you learn how to make an infographic even if you don't have design background. Number 1, identify your target audience. Like all types of content, the first step in creating your infographic is to identify and familiarize yourself with your target audience. If possible, talk to at least 5 people who fit the criteria of your target audience and persona, and explore their pain points, needs, and wants. Go beyond the usual demographic questions such as age, occupation, educational background, and household income. 2. Define your goals. An infographic all by itself is just a piece of content. Infographic creation without a purpose is a meaningless exercise. When you have a clear infographic purpose, you'll be able to pick the right type of infographic for the job, saving you time and effort. Here are some goals you can aim for the next time you're designing an infographic. Report on data, raise awareness, reveal patterns or trends, simplify complex information, highlight a sequel of events, compare 2 or more ideas or concepts, explain a process and showcase a step-by-step guide, encourage people to buy a product or avail a service. 3, we have gather your information. The next step is to gather the information part of your infographic. Keep in mind that the data and information you share are the foundation of a compelling infographic. Follow these steps to collect relevant and reliable information for your infographic. Consult open source databases, go to a local library, or browse sites of government agencies. Explore websites that end in .edu, .org, and .gov. These are typically educational institutions, non-profit organizations, and government agencies. The data presented on these websites are generally credible and authoritative. Conduct in-person interviews or create a survey. Check for relevance and collect up-to-date information. Understand the intent of your source and find out if it's an opinion or a fact. 4. Choose the type of infographic. As mentioned earlier, there are different types of infographics to choose from. Each type has its purpose, format, and way of displaying information. For example, timeline infographics can either be presented vertically or horizontally. Meanwhile, comparison infographics are often presented in a vertical format. Knowing how your infographic would look will help you pick the right infographic template. Next, create logical hierarchy. Create a logical hierarchy in your infographic by planning the structure. Writing for an infographic is not the same as writing for a blog post or an academic paper. Before you start making your infographic, write your content either in Word or in a Google Doc. This will give you an overview of your infographic content, and you can switch data around without editing your infographic. Your infographic should contain the following elements: a title, introduction, body content, conclusion or call to action, and sources. 6th is to pick and customize a template. The best part about making infographics these days is you don't have to start from scratch. For example, you can browse through Piktochart's infographic template collection and pick the suitable template based on your infographic goals and the type of information you're about to present. From timeline infographic templates to infographic resumes you can customize. All it takes is a few clicks to tailor it to your preference. You can also mix and match colors as needed. Before you know it, you're all set. An added advantage of infographic templates is you can reuse and repurpose your infographic templates. This is particularly useful when you create reports or graphics that have to be updated regularly. 7. Download your infographic. After all your hard work, you're ready to download, embed, and share your infographic. Before you download and say, "That's a wrap," you have to 1. Check the validity of the sources, double check for typos and grammatical errors, have someone go through your infographic and ask for feedback. With Piktochart, there are many download options to choose from, whether you're planning to share your infographic online or offline. For more infographic design tips and in-depth advice, go to our How to Make an Infographic in 30 Minutes video. Now you're ready to go and make your best infographic ever. When you put information and share data in front of your audience, you're requiring them to process information. Infographics help your audience achieve this goal more effectively. In summary, you're not just sharing information with infographics. A good infographic helps your audience make better decisions, get insights, and motivate them to act. If you found this video useful, do make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're ready to get started with your first infographic today, make sure you sign up for a free Piktochart account. You can find the sign up link in the description box of this video, or by searching for Piktochart infographics on Google. Until next time.